we are off. The season is now underway, and repeat after me, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And go ahead and call the cliche police. Hi, everybody, I'm John Keating. Welcome to Tigers Weekly. Suddenly, the world seems a little warmer, both climatologically and socially, because the Tigers are back in business here at the corner of Michigan and Trammell, and they were happy to get home, or any place that the New York Yankees weren't. Tigers must have drawn the short straw, because before they got the chance to be welcomed back within the warm embrace of their own fans, they had to help the Yankees, the world champion Yankees, the best team money can buy Yankees, open their own home season in the Bronx. It was too bad. The rain dampened some of the celebration fever in the Big Apple. Amidst the raindrops, former Yankee greats Phil Rizzuto and Whitey Ford raised the team's 24th championship banner out amidst Monument Park in center field. And Yogi Berra was back at Yankee Stadium for the first time in 14 years, having ended his feud with Yankee owner George Steinbrenner. With Joe DiMaggio's passing, he is now the greatest living Yankee. And those still on the field, well, they look pretty great as well, as the Tigers were forced to throw young Baker Gratterall out against the champs in his Major League debut. And he found himself up against the best Major League team.
There it goes, right field. Grand slam.
And New York rolled to a 12-3 romp. Just when you thought that tomorrow holds great promise, the Yankees come back with their sudden ace, the Rocket, and Roger Clemens rolled through the Tigers lineup. He struck out 8, and the Tigers could only muster 3 hits in almost 8 innings against him. Brian Moeller, the Tigers ace, was victimized by a couple of bad pitches. For the second game in a row, Chili Davis and Scott Brocious homered for the Pinstripes, and they won it 5-1. And there was more emotion on Sunday in the Bronx as the Yankees received their championship rings, and their recovering cancer patient manager, Joe Torre, was in the park as well. And it was a walk in the park for the champs. What a pitching staff the Yanks now possess. El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, flirted with a perfect game. He was perfect into the 7th inning against the Tigers, and by then he was sitting on a rather comfortable 11-run cushion. It was the shortest start ever in Justin Thompson's young career. He was forced for 8 runs in the 3rd. They batted around against him in the inning, and every batter either scored a run or drove one in. And that was plenty of padding for El Duque, who lost his perfect game and his no-hitter, but got the victory. Then at last a home game for the road-weary Tigers. The final opening day game in the long and rich tradition of Tiger Stadium, and the day was perfect. Back and forth they went, scratching out the very occasional hit, but all of the runners were left stranded. On to extra innings, tied at Bagel, and Sean Runyon was summoned out of the bullpen to face Todd Walker in the top of the 12th.
And there she goes into the upper deck. A home run for Todd Walker.
If there's any consolation, it was not a cheap run. In Runyon's own words, he crushed it. Walker has hit almost 500 at Tiger Stadium, and 1 hit on Monday was the difference in a 1-love opening day spoiling victory. Much as it was last year for the Tigers, they face the Yankees twice in the first couple of weeks of the season. Detroit wrapping up a series here at the corner with the Pinstripes this weekend before the Boston Red Sox come to town. But as we head to break, we throw at you our Tigers Weekly trivia question. As you know, the '84 Tigers are celebrating the 15th anniversary of their World Series championship season. Which Tiger was named MVP of the World Series that summer? Was it Kirk Gibson, who hit .333 with a couple of homers, 7 RBIs, and 3 steals? Alan Trammell, who hit .450 with 9 hits in the 5 games? Or Jack Morris, he of the 2 complete game victories and an ERA of 2? The answer later in the show. Still to come as Tigers Weekly unfolds here on Fox Sports Net Detroit. One of the best aspects of the Tigers being back home is the chance to hear Ernie Harwell call a game on radio again. But he's not done with his burgeoning television career yet. We think he's going to be a pretty good broadcaster. Coming up, he'll offer up some memories of an umpire named Jack Sheridan.
Ever hear the story about the ball player who was ejected from a game because of something he'd done the winter before? It involves our old friend Herman Germany Schaefer, who played second base on the Tiger pennant-winning teams in 1907, 1908, and 1909.
Also ahead, Kirk Gibson is back among his people. He's a fan on opening day, and he'll give us his own unique perspective ahead. I love you, Slugger.
Let's come in. Slugger. Come on, Slugger, we're buying. Did you hear how he said that? I love you, Slugger.
But up next, what a sight to see two of Gibby's teammates from the '84 team back on the field in Tiger uniforms. We'll visit with those prodigal Tigers, now coaches, Lance Parrish and Alan Trammell, when we come back.
Gosh, I mean, this has got great baseball tradition here, a lot of history, and you look at the overhang and, you know, the roof, and you think about a lot of great players that have played here.
Just to walk into this stadium for the first time and watch the stadium fill up and be a part of batting practice and just see this place jam-packed with people and how excited they were.
Hi, I'm Karen Newman for Capital Mortgage Funding. Want to buy a new home? Then call my friends at Capital Mortgage Funding and ask them about their Approval Now program. With an Approval Now from Capital Mortgage Funding, you can shop for your new home without having to wonder if you're going to be approved. Home mortgage approval has never been easier, so call my friends at Capital Mortgage Funding, the best mortgage banker, at 1-800-LOW-RATE. Get Approval Now, only at Capital Mortgage Funding. And go look for your new home. Call 1-800-LOW-RATE today.
Some guy says he wants his burger without pickles.
I can't authorize that.
He's checking.
Eat what you want. At Subway, every order is a special order with your choice of fresh ingredients. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Hello?
Introducing 3 new wraps only at Subway. Try our Chicken Parmesan Ranch Wrap, Turkey Breast and Bacon Deluxe Wrap, and our Steak and Cheese Wrap. All 3 come wrapped in a delicious tortilla with your choice of fresh veggies. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Going to Kansas City, here I come.
The blues makes you feel alive.
I don't want much.
Presenting Living the Blues.
I just want a little bit. Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long.
I said,
Get blues classics for just $12.99.
Something's got a hold on me here.
you know the nighttime is a
Use your credit card and get a free bonus album of Chicago blues.
You know you shook me, baby.
Then audition other Living the Blues albums. Credit card users get 2 albums for just $12.99.
To order, call 1-800-225-0606. Use your credit card and receive your free Blues Giants cassette or CD, or send $12.99 plus $3.95 shipping to the address on your screen.
This KNLP bulletin just in. A meteor the size of Saskatchewan is headed towards Earth and will hit soon.
We're gonna die now.
The bat ball. Tony.
Wow, we saved the world.
Yeah, save my seat. I gotta hit the can.
Okay.
Clark and the Tigers host Bernie Williams and the Yankees. Coverage begins Saturday at 12:30 on Fox Sports Net Detroit.
Welcome back to the show as Tigers Weekly continues from here at the corner. It is quite literally a blast from the past, and there is no denying that these two guys know how to win, and that's why Lance Parrish and Alan Trammell were each hired to their present positions. Lance Parrish was working as a manager in the Dodgers organization in their minor leagues, and Alan Trammell seemed headed for front office duties here with the Tigers when each was tapped on the shoulder and invited to join Larry Parrish's coaching staff. And back in Tiger home uniforms for the first time in a long time on opening day in Detroit, indeed had a very special feel to them. Here's Shireen Sasky.
The final opening day at Michigan and Trumbull, and Tiger fans swarmed the corner to commemorate this momentous event.
It's Tiger Stadium. Tiger Stadium is always special. Great place to be. Better than Fenway.
Who's got tickets? I need 3.
Come here! Hit it!
This last home opener at Tiger Stadium was the first for Alan Trammell and Lance Parrish as coaches. The two members of the 1984 World Series championship team have returned to the Diamond, much to Motown's delight.
Big change, but it's nice to see that history still coming in and the winning attitude.
I was so happy. In fact, I was very vocal about the point that I was so happy that Tram and Lance are going to be a part of this club again. Tigers have taken a long time getting some of their former players, great players like these two were, back in uniform so that the people who grew up watching the 84 team can see some of their heroes again.
That's a wonderful move, I think, on the Tigers' part. And they got to figure some way to get Jack Morris back in here.
28 opening days here at Tiger Stadium between the two of you. What is it like to come back now for the final opening day, and now you're coming back as coaches?
Well, I'll answer that. I'm looking up here. The first thing that comes to mind is I'm glad the sun's shining, because as a brisk day, and both of us being from Southern California, I don't think that we ever really got used to the cold weather. I mean, I can't speak for Lance, but I can speak for myself, that I really wasn't a great cold weather player. So as long as the sun was out, it certainly made it better. But, you know, opening day in Detroit is an event.
This is kind of a rite of spring for everybody here in this area. It's the start of the baseball season. It's time to get outdoors, and what a way to start it other than right here in Tiger Stadium.
And you've been away from the organization for a few years. What is it like to come back, put the uni on, and step on this field?
Well, it's a very special time for me, obviously. That whole situation with me leaving is one that I'll probably always regret, but it's nice to have a second chance to come back here and work with great guys like Tram and the rest of the coaching staff. They've made me feel very welcome here, and I appreciate that. And I'm just looking forward to getting some wins under our belt. We've had kind of a rough start here.
Only 3 Tigers have played 20 years with the Old English D, you being one of them. Is it kind of bittersweet here for the last opening day?
Well, it is. I mean, when you start thinking about that, I mean, gosh, I mean, this has got great baseball tradition here, a lot of history, and you look at the overhang and, you know, the roof, and you think about a lot of great players that have played here. But on the same token, you know, it's going to be one day, and after today's over, we're going to have 80 more games to play here at home. So I think, you know, when it starts winding down towards the latter part of the year, you know, you're going to start reminiscing a little bit more.
I remember my very first opening day. I was hanging out of that bullpen down there trying to watch what was going on. But just to walk into this stadium for the first time and watch the stadium fill up and be a part of batting practice and just see this place jam-packed with people and how excited they were. And I think the thing that I always remember is my very first opening day, it was cloudy and overcast, and when the sun came out, everybody let out a roar. It was like somebody had just hit the ball out of the ballpark. It was an exciting time, and that'll be something that'll always stick with me.
A lot of celebrating this season, the 84 team being celebrated today. A reunion of sorts for you guys? Do you keep in touch at all?
Well, I tell you, I mean, as far as a player, this is our fraternity, and the thing that won't change is that, you know, if Lance and I didn't talk for a couple months or even a year, or whether it be Jack Morris or Dan Petrie, Tommy Brookins, the bond that we have together, you know, we can go that long, and as soon as we see each other, it's like old hat. And that's the fraternity that we have, the friendship that we'll have forever. They can't take that away.
Nor can anyone take away the precious memories from this final opening day.
All right, Shereen, thanks. Yeah, it's certainly great to see those guys back on the field here at the Tiger Stadium. They were a part of something very special back in 1984. And one of the burning images of that magical summer of 1984 here in Detroit was Kirk Gibson's growl. Gibby's now a Tiger fan, and he walks us through his own opening day here at the corner when we come back.
What's your most memorable opening day? Most memorable opening day would probably be one of the games I pitched. I think it was in '79. I broke both Will's bats. The next pitch, Johnny Shabtail Grubb took me on the facing. 2 pitches, 2 runs. Digger! Everybody's booing me. I go, thank you, man.
How's it going, Mike? Man, are you okay? Sweet catch at the game today. I still can't believe you held on. Just make sure you take care of that elbow. Yours truly, Damien Easley.
Hey, honey, oh!
Keith, it's me, Tony Clark. Listen, I really appreciate you coming out to the game today. Say, have you noticed the back window of your truck? My fault, man, but the ball was just hanging there and the park just couldn't hold it. You know, but look on the bright side. At least you got a souvenir.
This bank lets you live like no other, with the most alternative ways to access your money. This bank lets you go, be, do to your heart's content. This bank lets you be on a clock or on a mountain, complete. With online and telephone banking, Michigan's largest ATM network and locations far and wide. This bank is Comerica, and in so many innovative ways, it lets you bank easier, bank everywhere, because at this bank, we listen, we understand, we make it work.
Who said less is more?
More is more.
You get more for the money. Save more every day. Now you can get the big extra $2.99 extra value meal every day at McDonald's. And it comes with large fries and a medium Coke. Hey, what more could you ask for?
The regular season finale. Chris Chelios returns to Chicago for the first time as the Wings gear up for the playoffs. Red Wings Blackhawks, tonight at 7 on Fox Sports Net, Detroit.
And we're back, having moved to right field here at the corner of Michigan and Trammell. And this is Kirk Gibson's piece of real estate. He's a hometown kid who grew up to help his hometown team, the Detroit Tigers, win a world championship. And I had occasion to wander around the ballpark a bit with Kirk Gibson this Monday past. And if he weren't so big, he might have needed security. There's a rock and roll show around him almost at all times. Here's a look at opening day in Detroit in Gibby's world.
Today marks the first drink in what promises to be a long last call for Tiger fans. It's the last year of the century, a century that has only had one address for Tiger baseball, the corner. Have you guys been to any opening days before?
Oh, it's a tradition.
How many? How many opening days?
Well, about 35. Yeah, probably 40. Or...
How are you going to describe Tiger Stadium to your grandchildren after it goes?
Well,
first
of all, I read in the Lansing State Journal this morning, and I felt the same way as a kid. When you walk up the ramp, you saw all these gray concrete ramps when you went. And the most beautiful sight I saw was when I went and saw that grass. And they mentioned it in the paper today. It looked like somebody had cut that grass by hand.
Well, we did some work on the infield, so...
Put a new infield in, right?
Yeah. Anxious
looks a little
to see
shorter.
How that works out.
And how long
not the grass.
How long
the dirt we put in.
Oh, you put the dirt in. So are you worried about the compaction or what?
Yeah, you know how the balls are going to play on it.
Oh, here we are. This looks like my kind of place. Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
have any pets?
Yes, I have a dog.
And what did you name that dog?
I named him. I named him Kaline.
Kaline? Now, why didn't you name him Gibby?
Well, because Kaline's a Hall of Famer, and Gibby's, well, he's almost a Hall of Famer, but he's on the fringe.
Is anybody supposed to be at work today? Opening day, dog refreshment. But I'm not. Nobody's driving here, are they? Woo! Next party. Bye, Nance. Love ya. If you have some kids, how would you describe Tiger Stadium to them?
I would describe Kirk Gibson played here, baby.
Let me look in here. That explains it all. Where are you guys going to be next year?
Right here. And how
are you going to get over there?
We walk across the bridge.
Oh, yeah, but there's going to be a new stadium next year.
That'd be great.
How would you describe Tiger Stadium to your grandkids when it's gone?
Oh, absolute gem, a baseball gem. If there's a Hall of Fame for stadiums, it belongs to Tiger Stadium.
Geez, this is a good question.
It's like a Picasso.
I'm going to say it's Michigan in trouble. Just a bunch of partying animals on opening day, a bunch of good fans, baseball fans, and it's just a historic, great field. Nice answer. Yeah, it was. No, I'm going to go over here, huh?
Can I get an autograph,
please? Hey! Hey, you want to dance? What's happening, dude? Where are you at? I just got done throwing some guy down over there. Really? What's happening? Hey, you guys behave today. Hooray! See you at hockey tonight.
The final opener at the corner. As a player and as a fan, the memories will always be good for me as I look back on Tiger Stadium. For Tigers Weekly, I'm Kirk Gibson.
All right, Gibby, thanks. As you may have known, Gibby had a day off from his duties as the color analyst on, that's right, Fox Sports Net Detroit, but he'll be alongside Josh Lewin for 100 Tiger games this summer. We've got more ahead. When we come back, we take you to a very special place, a stroll down Ernie Harwell's tree-lined memory lane with an old war story about one of baseball's men in blue. That's up next.
How's it going, Mike? Man, are you okay? Sweet catch at the game today. I still can't believe you held on. Just make sure you take care of that elbow. Yours truly, Damien Easley.
Hey, honey, oh!
Hey, Keith, it's me, Tony Clark. Listen, I really appreciate you coming out to the game today. Say, have you noticed the back window of your truck? My fault, man, but the ball was just hanging there and the park just couldn't hold it. You know, but look on the bright side. At least you got a souvenir.
Looking for a way to offset those college expenses? Look no further. The Michigan Army National Guard has several different ways to help offset those costs. The Montgomery GI Bill, the tuition grant program with selected universities, and the Army Continuing Education System are ways that can help pay those expenses. If you're prior service or have never been in the National Guard, you can count on us to help cut your educational expenses. For more information on the Michigan Army National Guard, call 1-800-GO-GUARD.
To keep you watching all the big things happening on Comcast, some people suggested employing a ridiculous, oversized gimmick. However, I assure them a mere mention of the prizes involved in our new bigger-than-big sweepstakes would suffice. After all, you could win a trip to the Super Bowl, a chance to meet CNN's Larry King, a kitchen makeover, or a trip to Hollywood. Just check your bill for an entry form and learn how you can be part of Comcast's biggest sweepstakes ever. Thank you.
Working out with Bowplexes.
This is Fox Sports Net, Detroit.
Welcome back. We're pretty sure this one has been eating at you a little bit. Let's go ahead and answer our Tigers Weekly trivia question. The question again, back in 1984, when the Tigers beat the Padres to win baseball's World Championship, which Tiger was the MVP of that World Series? Was it Kirk Gibson, Alan Trammell, or Jack Morris? The answer, Alan Trammell, who in addition to hitting .450 also scored 5 runs, hit a couple of homers, knocked in 6 runs, and even stole a base. We're glad you're back with us as Tigers Weekly rolls right along here on Fox Sports Net Detroit. You know, there's a comfort to it. It's almost like pulling on your favorite pair of old sweatpants and finding $50 in the pocket. It feels that good to have Ernie Harwell back describing Tiger baseball on the radio throughout the state of Michigan. He's been at it for now more than 50 years of his life, and almost 40 of those years right here in Detroit. And Ernie will be a part of our regular television proceedings as well. Here now to look back upon the career of a rather noteworthy umpire.
Thanks, John. Ever hear the story about the ball player who was ejected from a game because of something he'd done the winter before? It involves our old friend Herman Germany Schaefer, who played second base on the Tiger pennant-winning teams in 1907, 1908, and 1909. Germany lived in Chicago in the winter, hung around an old tavern there, the Log Cabin Inn. He hung around with a lot of ball players and jockeys and prize fighters and umpires. Now, one of the umpires is Jack Sheridan, who had umpired in the American League in the summer and was an undertaker in the off-season. He called him in the summer and buried him in the winter. Sheridan had another winter pastime, drinking. One winter night in Chicago, Germany Schaefer came by the Log Cabin Inn, found his old umpiring pal Jack Sheridan fast asleep there. Jack had leaned his chair up against the drain pipe in the kitchen and was sleeping off a few extra whiskeys. Schaefer climbed to the roof of the place and found the other end of the pipe. He shouted down into the sleeping umpire's ear, "Jack Sheridan, your time has came." Sheridan got right out of his chair and headed for the bar. He downed a couple of quick shots and tried to figure out whether it was a voice of warning or something he'd eaten. In a little while, he was back in his chair, fast asleep again. And Germany Schaefer climbed to the roof and yelled into the pipe, "Jack Sheridan, your time has came." This time, Sheridan leaped out of the chair, headed straight out of the door, and didn't come back to the log cabin all winter. But the end of the story doesn't arrive until a hot August afternoon at Bennett Park in Detroit. Jack Sheridan was umpiring back of the plate, and Schaefer was at bat. The pitcher delivered a pitch 2 feet wide of the plate. "Strike 2, says Sheridan. Schaefer never turned to protest, but for the 3rd time in his life, Jack Sheridan heard that terrible warning. "Jack Sheridan, your time has came." All of a sudden, Sheridan swung at Schaefer and missed. He kicked at him and missed. "You're out of the game, you so-and-so," he yelled. And then he chased Schaefer all the way to the clubhouse. Germany was out of the game, chased for his antics of the winter before, plus that summertime reminder to Mr. Jack Sheridan. That's it for now. See you next time.
All right, Ernie, thank you. The voice that just screams baseball here in Detroit, Ernie Harwell. The Tigers have Monday off, but then they enter a gruesome stretch of their early season. They'll play 20 games in 20 days. It'll be 3 weeks before they have a date off. First things first, the Tigers will conclude the home series with the Yankees with games on Saturday and Sunday. Both of those here on Fox Sports Net Detroit. And then the Red Sox are in for games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the corner before the team heads out on an ugly road trip that begins at Comiskey Park against the White Sox. And rest assured, we'll tell you how the Tigers did when we're back with another installment of Tigers Weekly next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Until then, I'm John Keating here at the corner. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
What's happening, guys?
What's up, man? I'm Waterford, too.
Good. All right. Whatever that means.